I think it's no surprise that most Arizona Cardinal fans are very excited about the 2024 offseason, and I mean really excited. Now, why you ask? The Arizona Cardinals are set up to have a lot of money in free agency, as well as have a lot of draft picks for the 2024 NFL Draft. Today, we're going to dive into should the Arizona Cardinals target Brian Burns in this year's free agency class. Let's dive into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We are getting so much news, probably in the next month or so, with free agency, rumors, as well as the NFL draft. And trust me, you do not want to miss any news, so definitely go and subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Alright, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's go ahead and talk about should the Arizona Cardinals target Brian Burns. Now, when you take a look at this year's projected free agency pool, there's a lot of great players on here. You got players on here like interior defensive tackle Chris Jones. You got Josh Allen out of Jacksonville. You got T. Higgins out of Cincinnati. You got Brian Burns out of the Carolina Panthers. So you got a lot of big star-studded names out here. Now, I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going out here and having a spending spree. They might have one big star-studded name or maybe two, right? We don't know in the grand scheme of things. But today we're going to go and actually focus on Brian Burns. Should the Cardinals go after a Brian Burns? And is it beneficial for the Cardinals to do something like that, right? As of right now, these are projected free agents, right? We don't know if they're actually going to sign a big long-term deal with their team or if they're going to get franchise tag. Now, Brian Burns has been in the news a lot in terms of speculations pertaining to should a contender go after a Brian Burns, trade for him. But the beauty of having Brian Burns in 2024 is that he's no longer on a contract. He's set to be a unrestricted free agent. So it'll be very beneficial for the Arizona Cardinals to do something like that, but it's all going to come down to the money. Can the Arizona Cardinals afford it? Now, as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals are projected to have anywhere between $45 to about $55 million. Now, I am saying projection because it is really based off of who we have on the roster right now, but there's probably going to be so many moves being made that's going to maybe bump that number up for the Cardinals. Now, that can be anything between cuts or if players get their contracts restructured. So there's a lot of things that can go after, making that cap space a lot better for the Cardinals heading into 2024. But as of right now, the projection is the Arizona Cardinals are going to have anywhere upwards about $45 to $55 million, anywhere around that realm. Now, if you take a look at our biggest, players that are hitting the most cap right now, Kyler Murray is set to hit the cap about $51.8 million. It's a lot of money. Then we got DJ Humphries, which is about $22.6 million, and then Budda Baker with about $19 million as well. So there's some players on here that are making a lot of money for the Arizona Cardinals per the cap. So in the grand scheme of things, the Arizona Cardinals need to figure out a way to, if they want to contend this year, they're going to have to probably make some moves, right? Because yes, 55 million sounds a lot, but if you're paying these players market, that might dry up here real quickly. So let's completely focus here on Brian Burns right now. Now, Brian Burns had a pretty successful 2023 campaign, if you ask me. 32 solo tackles, 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble. But if I'm not gonna lie here, the Carolina Panthers weren't our good team, right? It's hard to really kind of evaluate him on this year alone, but this is a guy that's 25 years old, most likely will be 26 heading into the 2024 start of the regular season. So we're talking about a first round pick here out of in 2019 that really blossomed into a really good edge player for Carolina. Now, like I said, this all really depends. If they franchise tag him, then he most likely won't be available. But if they allow him to hit the free agency market, it's anybody's game, right? 6'5", 250 pounds, a guy that had over 45 sacks for his career. I think he's actually got 45 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. So we're talking about a guy that's very productive, right? Very productive. And if you take a look at the Cardinals roster, all we have right now are potential right now, right? Now we got B.J. Ojulari, which is coming into his second year, which I'm pretty excited about. But we got a lot of people out here like Cam Thomas, Victor Dimukeje, Dennis Gardeck has been used as an outside linebacker, as well as Zaven Collins. We don't actually have that one big solidified guy. But if you tell me we're going to add a Brian Burns onto this roster and then give B.J. Ojulari his second year to develop, I'm honestly, I would would love that. I'd sign me up for that for sure. But when you're looking at Brian Burns, you do have to pay him market, right? It's not going to be something where you can convince him, hey, give us a deal, right? Because honestly, a lot of these players that are hitting the free agency market, they're going to want to get paid very, very, very well. Now, as of right now, the three highest paid edge players are TJ Watts, as well as Joey Bosa and Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is the lowest out of those three, and he's getting paid $25 million per year. TJ Watt's getting paid $28 million per year, and he's the highest out of the three. So when you're looking at a projection, like how much Brian Burns is going to go for, it's probably going to be $29 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to spend on one specific player. So although, yes, I would love the idea of bringing a Brian Burns, and I get it, right? If you take a look at TJ Watt, you probably won't put them in the same category. He might be more of a $25 million, $26 million guy, but it's still a lot of money regardless, right? At the grand scheme of things. So although I would love it, I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals would do that, especially with where we are at right now in the rebuild. Would I love Brian Burns? Yes, I would, but I don't know if we're quite there 100%. Now, if the Arizona Cardinals do also want to take a flyer on another player, we mentioned his name a little earlier, Josh Allen. And no, I do not mean the quarterback from the Buffalo Bills. I mean Josh Allen, the edge rusher from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this guy right here was drafted actually a year after the quarterback, but has the same name, Josh Allen, but he's out of Kentucky. He's 6'5", 255 pounds, 26 years old, and I believe he is actually set to be 27 by the time this next season starts up. So he's looking for a big contract as well, but this guy's numbers are crazy. 43 solo tackles, 17.5 sacks. Yes, you heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. 17.5 sacks this year alone, 2 forced fumbles and 1 interception. Now, in his career, he's had a total of 45 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. Now, please keep in mind, it is kind of really hard to compare a Josh Allen compared to a Brian Burns because of where the Jaguars were compared to the Panthers. It's kind of night and day. Is some really good players here for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after in this year's free agency pool. It's just I keep going back to that same narrative of I don't know how Monty Ossenfort is going to maneuver this year, right? Especially with where we are in this rebuild. Now, if you ask me, the Arizona Cardinals are in a really weird situation right now with our rebuild because we got a franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray and we're paying him upwards of $50+ million for the year in terms of the cap hit. But like, I don't know if Monty is going to go all in this year, right? Or if he's going to say, we're going to add some pieces here and there, right? Some value pieces and continue to hopefully build off of last year, which, let's be honest, I think anything is going to be an upgrade from last year, having only a 4-win team. Hopefully that will be able to be, building off of that. But you do need some pieces like this to try to contend with the 49ers, to contend with a Rams, to contend with a Seahawks in our division alone. So you are going to need some players like this, like a Brian Burns or a Josh Allen. So although I would love the Arizona Cardinals to go after one of these two guys, I don't know if it's actually realistic for the Arizona Cardinals to spend upwards of what $25 million to get a Brian Burns or a Josh Allen on this team. Now, like I said, if we do get him, let's go. I'm down to do that because I would love the idea of Josh Allen and BJ Ojulari, or even a Brian Burns and a BJ Ojulari. So anything is going to be better than what we actually had last year, because we really didn't have a lot of consistent pressure on the opposing quarterback, and that's not a good thing. That's not a recipe for success. We would definitely be able to benefit from having a Brian Burns or a Josh Allen on this team. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here on the whole Brian Burns situation? Do you think the Arizona Cardinals can really go after a guy like him? Let me know here in the comments below. And what would you pay Brian Burns? Like I said earlier, the market is probably anywhere between $25 to $28 million per year. Now, I get it. TJ Watt is going for $28 million, but every single year that goes past, it gets higher and higher. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens and how this shakes out. But man, I would love that production to be on this Arizona Cardinals 2024 defense next year. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.